Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 133 of my Gateway Experience. Thank you so much for tuning in. The purpose of these videos is to document our journey through the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. I like to call the Gateway Experience a scientific, repeatable process of self-discovery, self-exploration, and ultimately self-mastery or self-actualization. It consists of a total of 36 tapes divided into 6 waves. The first wave is called Discovery, then Threshold, then Freedom, then Adventure, then Exploring, and then Odyssey. So we are currently on the third wave, and that one is called Freedom. Okay, so we are on the third tape, and that one is called Vectors, and the Vectors tape that we're on now, today was the 10th day doing it. So it's the final day. It's the recap day of the entire journey so far. So you don't need to, but if you haven't seen any of my other videos, go ahead and check those out. That way you can see the entire journey so far with details, stories, experiences, emotions, failures, and all these other things that I haven't talked about yet, or I might not get to. I have talked about in those videos, but I haven't talked about yet in these videos, in this video, and I might not get to in this video. So those details are pretty fun. Let's get right into it. Today it is January 4th, 2023. It is 6:40 a.m. and it's going good. You know, I feel great. I started this new routine where I wake up in the morning and I go to my water machine, and it's helping me really wake up because I don't need to think about anything. Before I would have to I feel like I would have to think about me waking up, but since I've set my intention and I know that I need to wake up at that time and that I want to, and that it's really what I can do, and I'm not afraid, you know, of like having a bad day because I woke up too early or whatever, because that has happened to me before. No more. So yeah, and I think part of that is because of my water machine, because I just go there and I just watch the water run, and it just helps me become present, fully present, and I don't have to worry about what I'm thinking. So similar with this tape, right? Similar with the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. Very, very similar, if not basically the same thing. A lot of the times, most of the times, as human beings, we find ourselves getting in our own way, okay? And it's not even ourself. Like, I'm not like drawing with one hand and then like coming over here with my left hand and like smashing it so that I can't draw the picture. Like, that's not what's happening. What's happening is that while I'm drawing, my brain is the one that is maybe seeing a different picture than the one that I saw originally. Maybe it's a bad picture, or maybe it's a better picture, but most of the time it's a bad picture. It's a worse picture than the one that you saw before. And maybe if you saw like a perfect vision of what you wanted, like your dream, and then as you go throughout life, it's like that vision just becomes darker, it becomes cloudy, it becomes uncertain. It's like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. But that's really the point that I was at. Pretty much, I mean, close to when I found the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. And being at that point, I'm grateful for it because of everything that I've learned, including how our thoughts are not our reality, okay? So it's all about our mental pictures. You know, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And so when we started the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience, we started in Consciousness 1, which is everybody's consciousness, the consciousness that everybody experiences on a day-to-day basis, and everybody's familiar with that, the 5 sensory experience. Okay, so you got the eyesight, you got the hearing, you got the smelling, you got the taste, you got the feeling, touch, and all that stuff. And all this is great because it's instant gratification and it's instant input output. It's like putting something in the microwave and you're like, okay, give me the mac and cheese. It was already cooked for me. Versus really getting together and getting all the ingredients to put it in the oven. I think that we have been cooking in the oven so that we can bake a really nice cake, a nice birthday cake. And this birthday cake that we're cooking or baking is all about me. Or it's all about you. It's all about, what do you want for your life? I know what I want for my life, and I've been able to really clarify what it is that I want because of the process that I've followed to this day, episode 133 of the Monroe Institute's Gateway Experience. And it starts out with a box, okay? And what we do is, if we find ourselves in a situation where, like, my mind, for example, a while ago, it was telling me, like, hey, you need to just kill yourself, dude. Like, you should probably just go ahead and kill yourself. Why was my mind saying that? It was saying that because I was so in pain. I was in so much pain, too much pain, emotional pain, not physical pain, because I was perfectly healthy physically. It was all emotional, and it was coming from up here. So what I had to do was, I had to put all of that crap in this box, okay? In this box. So we go from consciousness 1 to focus 3, okay? And focus 3 is where you put everything in this, all your anxieties, worries, and concerns, you put them in this box, and then you allow someone else to guide you through your consciousness and awareness, because obviously I wasn't doing a very good job, and I couldn't trust that voice anymore, So I had to allow myself to be guided by somebody else, and that person was telling me, like, hey, look, put all this crap in this box, and now put the box away. All this crap is in there. You don't have to worry about it. Now, go ahead and focus on you. Who are you? That's actually funny, because that's where we're going to be doing next, is asking yourselves those questions. But those aren't the questions that they were asking me. They were basically saying, like, hey, look, pay attention to your forehead. Pay attention to the back of your head. Pay attention to your neck. Pay attention to your shoulders. Are they tense? Are they not tense? If they are tense, relax. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And what that does is it allows you to just let that go, right? But you're still there. I was still there. So now all of a sudden I became aware of my thoughts that I was having before. I became aware of all the stuff that I was putting in the box. The more I did it, the more I practiced it. I became aware of my body and other subtle things that are more like the cake than the microwave, mac and cheese, okay? These things that, like, hey, would you ever know that if you mix flour and eggs, you can make bread, Like, would you ever know that if somebody hadn't taught you that? You probably wouldn't. Like, if you're just going around nature, you would just see animals and you would see plants and you would see, okay, well, now what? You'd have to figure it out to trial and error, but why would I do that when I can just lean on somebody that has already baked the cake before? Why not just learn how to do it? What is the step-by-step process that I need to do to reach that higher level of consciousness, of self-actualization, okay, of self-mastery? And this is the process. And the reason why is because we go from focus 3 to focus 10. I think it's focus 6 in between there. I'm not sure. I might be making that up. Maybe 8. I'm not sure. I'm probably making that up. But essentially what it is, when you go into a focus 10 state, from focus 3, once you become aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, basically, really, that's the ultimate goal, is to become aware of all 3. But once you become aware of your thoughts, then you start to become aware of your feelings. And the way that you do that is by going into focus 10, by allowing your body to fall asleep while you still remain aware. Okay, so we subdued the thoughts. We subdued all the patterns of thinking that we might have experienced in the past, all the pain and suffering and everything else. We've also subdued all of the feelings, okay? Feelings of anxiety, feelings of anger, feelings of pain, okay? And that we achieved by going into focus 10. And we basically just followed the process of relaxing our body and our mind and remaining aware at the same time. So it's not like we're being led to do something we don't want to do. We're fully in control the entire time. Okay, now we're on the third wave, so we're not that far into the journey yet. We're still a little bit grounded, but we're starting to lift off a little bit off the ground. We saw that with the liftoff tape. We saw that with the remote viewing tape, which I was not very good at. And we see that now with this tape, the vectors tape, where we are starting to not only become familiarized with our body, which we already did through Focus 10, or our thoughts, okay, or our actions, we're also becoming familiar with the resonant energy balloon, okay? We're becoming so familiar with it that we can now almost control it like if it was part of our body, like if it was part of our own body. But the thing about it is that it's fluid, it's flexible, so it expands like when you breathe, and it contracts. Okay, it's all around us. It's the energy that goes up out of our crown chakra and then down into our feet and then up into the rest of our body. And it's that energy, okay, that we are the true essence of what we really are. And I really like this tape. This is really one of my favorite tapes so far because it really focuses on building that out, okay? We build out that vector and these vectors, and we really solidify them to pay attention to how real they really are. It's like if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you don't go to the gym and you don't curl those weights, your biceps will eventually atrophy. But the more you focus on these things that are here that can simply be used, all you have to do is mix the cake, mix the egg and the flour to make the cake. That's all you have to do. But you wouldn't know to do it unless somebody told you. And you might be like, no, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, you can't mix eggs and flour and make a cake. Like, that just doesn't really work. Like, I've never done it before. So since I've never done it before, and I might have even tried to do it, but I didn't follow all the instructions, and it didn't work for me. So it probably doesn't work for you either. And you're just lying. Like, that's really the mindset that we adopt a lot of the times. But if we do the right things and we follow the instructions, we'll experience it for ourselves and we'll know, like, oh shit, yeah, I can actually make a fucking birthday cake, you know? Like, I can actually do it, and it's really simple, and not only can I do it, but I can share with other people as well. And maybe we'll have a birthday party and everything else, you know? So I think that is really the gist of where we're at right now, and we're only moving forward and continuing to progress. And the next videos are going to be about the 5 questions, okay? And I'm already kind of looking ahead a little bit, which is something that I wasn't able to do before, but I'm kind of looking ahead already, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm going to be asking myself these 5 questions, then I'm going to come on here and I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about these 5 questions that I've asked myself and the answers to those questions, and that's great and everything, and I hope that you guys will receive some value from it, but all of that, none of that matters. What matters is, are you doing it? Do you know? I'll ask you the questions, and I'll be here for you to be that person. If you don't have that connection of someone that's saying, like, hey, look, this is the path that maybe you should follow if you're okay with ending up in this place, which is happiness, serenity, clearness of mind, low stress, basically heaven. So that's pretty much what I've got to say. So if you want to communicate with me, let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, I will see you guys soon. Peace.